Close your eyes right now. Picture an apple, red round, sitting on a white table. You just did something your brain does automatically, without effort, without instruction. You saw something that wasn't there. Now here's the question nobody thinks to ask. What happens when someone who has never seen an apple tries to dream about one? What does a blind person see when they sleep? The answer dismantles almost everything you think you know about sight, about dreams, and about what your brain is actually doing when the lights go out. Let's start with what most people assume. Most people assume blind people dream in darkness. A black screen. Nothing. The way you imagine death, just absence, but that assumption is wrong. And the way it's wrong tells you something profound about how the human brain actually works. It turns out the answer depends entirely on one thing, not how blind someone is, not how long they've been blind when they went blind. If you lost your sight after the age of roughly 5 or 6, you almost certainly still dream in images, full color, moving, vivid, sometimes more vivid than the dreams of sighted people because the brain compensates. It works harder with what it is stored. People who went blind at 7, at 15, at 30, they report dreaming of faces, of sunsets, of rooms they haven't been in for decades. One man who lost his sight at 22 described dreaming in such sharp visual detail that he sometimes forgot he was blind until he woke up. That moment of waking, reaching for something he could see in the dream, and finding only darkness, he said was the hardest part of every single day. The brain doesn't forget. It holds onto every image it ever collected and keeps running them long after the source went dark. But here's where it gets strange. People who were born blind or who lost their sight before age 5 do not dream in images at all. Not darkness. Not a black screen. Not nothing. Something else entirely. Their dreams are built from the other 4 senses, and those senses don't just fill in the gaps. They take over completely. Sound becomes architecture. In a congenitally blind person's dream, a voice doesn't just come from somewhere. It defines the entire space. The distance of a sound tells them the size of the room. The echo tells them the material of the walls. They navigate dream environments through sound the way you navigate through sight. Touch becomes color. Texture carries emotional weight in a way sighted people almost never experience. Rough surfaces feel threatening. Smooth surfaces feel safe. The feeling of a person's hand tells them more about that person than a face ever could. Smell becomes memory. This one is almost universal in reports from congenitally blind dreamers. A scent doesn't just appear in the dream, it reconstructs an entire moment. The smell of rain doesn't just mean rain. It means a specific afternoon, a specific person nearby, a specific feeling in the chest. Their dreams are not lesser versions of sighted dreams. They are entirely different structures, a different architecture of experience built from a different set of tools. Now here's the part that should stop you cold. Researchers at the University of Copenhagen studied dream content across sighted people, late blind people, and congenitally blind people. They found something nobody expected. Congenitally blind people have significantly more nightmares than sighted people. Not slightly more, significantly more, about 4 times the rate. The most common nightmare themes: being hit by a car, getting lost, being abandoned in an unfamiliar space. Losing the ability to navigate, think about what that means. The brain constructs fear from whatever it has. A sighted person's nightmare is visual, a face, a chase, a monster in a dark hallway. A blind person's nightmare is spatial and social. The terror of disorientation. The terror of being alone in an environment that gives no information back. Same emotion, completely different architecture. Fear doesn't live in your eyes. It lives somewhere much deeper. And this is the part that reaches through the screen and touches you directly, because you have never seen with your eyes. Not really. Your eyes are sensors. They collect light. They convert it into electrical signals and fire those signals to the back of your brain. What you experience as seeing happens entirely inside your skull, in a region called the visual cortex, where your brain constructs a model of the world and projects it in front of you like a screen. You are not seeing the world. You are seeing your brain's best guess about the world, which means every dream you have ever had, every image, every face, every impossible landscape, was constructed by the same system that builds your waking reality. The blind person dreaming in sound and texture is not experiencing something alien. They are doing exactly what you do, building a model of reality from available signals. Their signals are just different. The brain doesn't need eyes to dream. It never did. There's one more thing. In the Copenhagen study, congenitally blind people reported that their dreams felt more real than those of sighted participants. More emotionally intense, more present. not because they were imagining harder, but because their dreams were built entirely from senses they actually used, fully every waking hour of their lives. No visual noise, no half-remembered faces, just pure signal from the senses they had sharpened to a level most sighted people will never reach. Their dreams weren't impoverished. They were concentrated, so the next time you wake from a dream, a vivid one, a strange one that felt more real than the room you woke up in, understand what just happened. Your brain spent the night doing what it always does, building a world from nothing, using every scrap of signal it had stored, constructing something so convincing you believed it completely until the moment you opened your eyes. A blind person is doing the same thing right now, in a language you don't speak, in a world you have never visited, and it feels just as real.